Alright, here I'm going to show you pretty much all the stuff that goes into a gas plane with smoke. So to start out with, here you have your fuel tank. And when you set up the vent line, you can have either a 2-line or a 3-line setup. And this particular tank is a 3-line. So that means there's one vent, one fill line, and then the carburetor line. So the vent comes out right at the top there, and you have to do the loop around so it doesn't siphon out on you. And then it comes out the bottom of the plane, right in one of those two. The other one's for smoke tank. Then right here is my fill line, and that comes all the way out to the fuel dot right there. And then the last line is right out the front, and that goes to the carb, right through the firewall and into the carb. Now for 2-line setups, it's a little different. You need a T. That's for my smoke tank. So here I have my fuel dot, comes around into this one right here, comes down right here, and then it goes into a T. And this line here, that goes down to my smoke tank. This one goes to my smoke pump. I don't have that in right now. And this line goes to my smoke tank. And this line is the output for the smoke pump, and that goes all the way into my muffler right there. You need to use this black neoprene tubing, otherwise it'll heat up and slip off the muffler fitting. And then for my smoke tank, it's the same setup as this except for the 2-line setup. So the fill line and the output line are the same line from the tank. Now for batteries, I have my receiver battery, the big one down there. Then I have my ignition battery. And then down there, I have it all wrapped up in tape and foam. I have my smoke pump battery. And I needed to put it back there to get the center of gravity right. But that goes up there into switches. And then there's a switch here for ignition, receiver, and smoke. But yeah, the smoke pump, I like to put it on its own separate battery, so that way it doesn't overload anything, and then it can shut down stuff. And if that's your receiver, that means a crashed plane, if it gets jammed or something. So that's always nice to run that on its own separate circuit. Then for up by the engine area here, you have the actual engine itself. You have the RPM sensor that goes down to the ignition box, so it can know when to send a fire to the spark plug. It has the spark plug cable, and then it has a input power down there as well. And that all goes, that's all for controlling the engine. The engine is mounted on this particular plane with standoffs. All gas engines, except for some of the nitro style engines, that's what I call them. They're basically like a nitro plane with the carb up front. But all the ones with the carb off back need the standoffs. And they have choke. The OSG T33 has a choke rod. Tries to reach through the canopy or the cowling, and this is choke off and choke on. And that's pretty much the basics of it. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and be sure to subscribe.